So for whatever reason, the repeater did a reset on the processor. So when you hear a P at the end of the 730 machine, that does not mean power. That means processor reset. If you'd like to find out about power, you go to the 075. The 075 has a P, or is a P or is just a tone?
There's a tone on there and there's a P.
Yeah,
The P is the processor, the tone
So if you get
comes
the
up
tone,
every 30 or 40 seconds is the power out.
so that's on the 075.
0750.
Okay. Sometimes it's nice to know because SDG&E forgets to tell us things. It was kind of interesting last time.
Well, it's interesting when we go up there and find out that our power pole's in one place, and no one noticed. That was what, a year ago, 2 years ago?
Well, we noticed it was nice and new.
Yeah, no one noticed a year ago, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ron, K2RP. See back? I guess he's still mounting antennas outside. Okay. All right. John, you asked for some time.
Yeah, it's some time to talk about the recent June, is it you call it scope?
Yes.
My name is John Trice, and I'm a new member for PARC for about 3-4 months now. And I'm also a member of, and a delegate for CERO, and a member of the 6 Shooters, as well as a sand dock board. And so there's been some issues going on now for over a year between PARC and sand dock. And I would like PARC to understand what's going on relative to 3 issues. The 3 issues, the most recent issues, are regarding the Santee Street Fair. And the issue, from what I understand from PARC, you were concerned that we were going to spend $200 more over the $600 that was already approved in the budget. Is that a fair statement?
There is a line in the bylaws of sand yard that limits expenditures to $300 without membership approval.
Okay. Here's where we disagree. The $600 was previously approved by the council almost a year ago. Okay? So that was already approved in the budget. The $200 additional was approved by the board at a special meeting in March. Okay? And we discussed this at the April meeting, that it was voted on and it was approved by the board. The bylaws are very clear that the board has the right to do that. So we did that. And so in our estimation, that has been addressed. It's a non-issue. Okay? If you would like to bring it up again, please file a grievance form and we will take it up at the next council meeting. The second issue is a long-standing issue with Mr. Loughlin, who has requested to view the sand dock records. Conrad did review the sand dock records in front of Bill Metzger, myself, Joe Acevedo. That was brought to the first website advisory committee meeting on August 5th of 2013. I was at that meeting. I'm the chair of the WAC committee, and you'll be seeing, for those of you who come to the sand dock meeting, you'll be seeing a presentation on the website this month. So Conrad did review the sand dock records at the meeting on August 5th, 2013, with Joe Acevedo and the rest of the board members, including myself, who witnessed that. At that moment, we asked him if this was adequate, and he said yes. But apparently that was not adequate, but was not made known to us until weeks later. A new request was made by Mr. Larry to view prior year's minutes budgets, indicating certain meeting minutes were either missing or inaccurate. And there were missing minutes. I met with Mr. Barker and requested that PARC put together specific requests in writing with proof of either missing or inaccurate documentation, along with a remedy for each item. And Mr. Barker did that. He put together an email that listed which minutes were missing and which minutes were needed to be corrected. But I asked him, I said, where's the proof? Okay, it's easy to prove missing minutes, okay? But what is the remedy? The prior secretary, Ann Rios, informally stepped down after the August meeting of last year due to injury. She formally stepped down prior to the January 2014 meeting of this year. We asked her if she had hard copies of the minutes going back to 2007, and she did not. So again, I will put it to the PARC. What would be the remedy for us to correct minutes or to provide missing minutes if we don't have the original minutes to begin with? And so Mr. Baca and I agreed that for things prior to the January meeting of 2014, we were just going to leave things as they were. And from January 2014 going forward, we were going to provide corrections to all the minutes. And it was up to each member club delegate to provide the specific language that needed to be corrected. And we would make sure that happened. And I think that's a fair compromise. Also, Mr. Baca requested that we distinguish the draft minutes from the final or corrected minutes. And I told him, my promise to him was we would do that. And we're going to do that when the new website gets rolled out, which will be in production by the October meeting. It will be presented at this July meeting. So as far as prior minutes and the budgets and the receipts that Mr. Lara has requested, we don't have those receipts. But we will have those receipts for these meetings going forward. I have talked to our treasurer and I said to Pat, I said, we need to have receipts for every treasurer's report that you put forth. And he agreed to do that. The third item is the member club versus club delegates requesting viewing of sandbox. In our bylaws, basically it requires that a member club vote to require viewing of our records. We can change the bylaws and make it so that anyone can make that request, but that's the way the bylaws read. So tonight, we were supposed to be taking a vote to approve Conrad and Mr. Barker to make a formal request to view our records, whatever records we have available to us. If we have receipts, great. If we don't, what do you want us to do? Can't pull the rabbit out of the hat. So, hopefully you'll take the vote tonight. If you don't take the vote tonight, then this issue's dead at the July meeting. So that's all I gotta say.
Okay, thank you. I think the group here welcomes your comments, and they appreciate hearing from someone that's not us, so they hear a different viewpoint. And we do appreciate you coming up and making those points known.
Thank you.
Okay. So, if you'd like to go on there, I see Joe's here. Would you like to make any comments at this time?
No, I don't.
Just for a point of reference, Joe Acevedo is, aren't you also president of the Six Shooters?
Vice President.
Vice President. I elevate him many times apparently. He's a good guy back there. He has taken on a difficult role in helping to manage Sandark, and he's doing a terrific job, despite what people may think. He's doing a very good job, and I want to commend him on that. So, I'd like to know that we do have people here from outside, and they're interested. So with that, why don't we go ahead and do that right now? And it was in the scope last month. Yeah, you can put it up there and read sometimes. What we're asking or what we would like to ask of the club at this time, is to endorse a request for the membership to look at the records of Sandark. And we put notice out last month like we needed to, and wanted to make sure everyone had a chance to review that, had a chance to express their opinion. So is there any questions at this time? Sir?
Yeah, well, I had some experience with Sandark over the years too. People may not be aware that Sandark has a long history of having money embezzled from it. There was a $25,000 investment at one point, and a bunch of other things like that. Sandark has been traditionally run by certain people who have used it as a personal piggy bank. And I'm not using names, so I don't get another lawsuit with these assholes. But the reality is, I think we should not be part of Sandark whatsoever. We should just get out of it completely and let them wallow in their own money. You might agree with me.
That's an opinion, and I have some opinions that lean that way, and I have some opinions that lean the other way.
Sandark provides absolutely no service whatsoever other than the BDC. And why do we need to be part of an organization basically a non-entity?
It's easier to adjust things from the inside than the outside. I know it doesn't always work so well.
In 20 years I've seen it going on, nothing's happened from the inside, ever, other than it being a private piggy bank.
I will say there was a big change a couple of years ago with the change. Yes, Paul?
It's cyclical though. It's just like sunspots. I've been a member of this club since 1982, and at that time I was entered into the fray of Sandark then. It's always the same thing. When the Rios gang left, they left with a lawsuit, they left with a hump and a hurrah and all these little things. And before that, there was some other controversy. And before that, there was some other controversy. I was back when the original guy walked away with half the funds from the convention. The real purpose of the Sandark, for those who don't know, is to put on this convention every 4 years in our division. And so, but as far as representation, which some of us think that's what Sandark should have been for like issues like Poway or San Diego or something like that, they've been silent. They've been silent because they don't have that kind of organization. I helped rewrite the bylaws lots of years ago, and they didn't even follow. They don't even follow. They approved them, but they didn't follow. And so it was just, finally I said to the clubs that I belonged to, that I was the delegate, we're out here. San Diego DX Club, as far as I know, we don't do anything anymore with them. We're done. We're finished. Because you've got to be a parliamentarian, nitpicker, to keep them always on the path. And it's just like, ham radio is too much fun, I'm going home, goodbye. So,
I agree
my
with that.
recommendation to our club down there was get out of it and don't look back.
One of the things I've been pushing for is getting more things like operating days happening.
Not
It's
gonna
hard.
happen. It's not going to happen. Sandark.
It's not the right deal. It's
Yeah,
not.
that's true.
It's not going to
Maybe.
happen.
Yes, Joe?
I don't know anything about all of the infighting that's going on, but Sandark does a great job with the VEs and supports the VE program, and that's something that I think you guys are forgetting, that they run that, and it's
That runs
successful,
separate.
very successful.
Yes, they do run the VE program. They
That's
have,
one separate from the actual council.
it's a sub-item of the council.
It has
Yes.
nothing to do with the council body. It's run by ASSE Freedom. It's-
Our local in Oceanside or Carlsbad.
ASSE runs everything on the whole, and it's totally.
Okay, now I gotta say something.
Yes,
Okay. Welcome to my world, folks. Really, I sit here and I'm listening to stories of things that happened a long time ago. I've been in Sandark 4 years. 2 of those years as the vice chairman, 2 of those, well, a year and a half as the chairman. DX Club is a member and has been to every meeting that I've been to. So, I have to deal with things like this, where what people think, what they hear, what they believe. I stepped into a really bad situation. There's no doubt about it. And I'm trying to change that situation. But I can't do it overnight. And what I'm faced with is impatience, intolerance. I see someone over here that laughs, but he's never been to a meeting. he's got a bone to pick about something that happened years ago. Well, that's his prerogative. That's his prerogative. I sat quietly for you, Howard. You can do the same for me, please.
You're telling me I didn't be in a meeting,
Howard, okay, whatever, Howard. Thanks. The point of the matter is that I've learned that I'm not going to be able to make everybody happy. But I'm trying my best, and that's all I can do. So, if you feel that you need to see whatever it is you need to see, the problem I have with the PARC issue is that it was campaigned for. When I read the June article 2 months ago, I'm like, this is a campaign. When the grievance was filed and was decided upon, it wasn't because of our bylaws. It was because of the statute that Conrad used to try and prove his point, turned around and was used against him. We used the language the same way Conrad uses the language. He's not happy. I understand that. I wouldn't be happy either. But then when I read that article, it doesn't talk about facts. It talks about belief. It talks about feelings. It talks about what do they have to hide. We've got nothing to hide. So, you guys do what you want to do. Whatever you decide, I'll go by it. But the changes that some of you feel needs to be made in Sandbar, it's not going to happen overnight. I told Conrad before I even ran for this position that these changes may take me more than one term to make. I wish you would have had patience. Thank you.
Tourism Corporation did show up at that WAC meeting. They appeared to be there. However, the way they were stapled, they were secure. There was concerns about handling them. They were supposed to be sent to me via email within the next day afterwards. Never happened. We were concerned that they might break while we were there, so we didn't want to handle them at that meeting. It wasn't the best place. So they were there, but I only got to see a small paragraph of it. But they were at that meeting. They are actually accurate on that regard. And in regards to the language of law, it's definitely an interpretation. I can see how that interpretation needs the clubs to view on this. That's why we're here. I can see it both ways, giving them the benefit of the doubt. We're letting the interpretation be that the club needs to vote on it. I do also comment there is part in the articles, or it's bilateral, there's part of it that says that the delegates are the representatives of the club. I don't know if that means anything in regards to that term or not. It is there. Again, a lot of this interpretation. The fact that the minutes are not available for January, this question has been going on for a year. This is the first I've heard of that. Does that change something? It could possibly. I don't want to say no, but this is the absolute first time I've heard of that. Thank you.
Okay, you're in such. Okay. I'd like to have either your opinion up or down, whatever your choice would be. If you'd like to endorse it or not endorse a request to be able to, yes.
I think you need a motion.
Are we doing a motion or? Okay. Make it a motion then.
I so motion as described by the president.
Okay. Could you describe exactly what the motion is? So I can write it down. Do you have it written down? So,
I'll just leave it right. Hereby ask you permission to endorse the request. You won't go right to. Okay, so you're going with what's up on the screen?
Sorry, membership request.
So the membership request of Sandark to allow a records review by Palomar's membership to include minutes of Sandark and other records to improve the knowledge and ability of Sandark's members. So is there a second?
I second.
Okay. Second. Okay, is there any further discussion?
What about a time limit?
Excuse me, Joe?
What about a time limit? The records from when to when?
I was gonna say, just the record that it is, I mean, the original request of mine was, I can't recall the dates, but my original request was an email. This started a year ago.
3 years, 2 years, 1 year,
Let's go with 3 years.
3 years? Not to exceed 3 years history. Okay, Howard? Okay. So, any other discussion? All those in favor? Okay. Opposed?
Unanimous.
2.
Joe. Okay, so I hear a vote of 29 for, 2 against. So we will submit the request. Okay. Going on, Ron. Hi, Ron. You got comments?
Yes, talk about this.
No.
Okay, there's some flyers around here on July 19th. John K6KOI was not here, and myself are hosting a ham radio garage sale flea market at my house. Bring your own table. Be happy to see you. Buy, sell, swap, give away. Only thing we ask is, if you bring it and it doesn't sell, take it home with you. And there's some flyers over here and over there.
Are those Rinky's rules?
No, those are my rules.
Those are his rules because Rinky won't let him do otherwise.
So, and as much a social event as anything else, it'll be Saturday morning, July 19th. If you have any questions or comments, give me a call, send me an email, it's on there. 9 o'clock. Not until noon or whatever.
Whatever. Let's say 2 o'clock, maybe.
So I put 9 to noon on the flyer, but
Okay.
I'm not going to throw anybody out.
You might want to.
Save the barbecue.
All right. Any other announcements on the floor? Mike?
Once again, y'all know what I'm going to say. August 5th is the Poway City Council meeting where they will have 2 ordinances to vote on. They're going to pick one. We assume that they will pick one that they like the best and have it modified once more. But we would really like, again, we appreciate your support in the past, and we would like to have as many hams come again as possible. Tuesday, August 5th, same as last time, hot dogs and sodas if you get there early enough. We'll fill up the room, make sure that they know we haven't lost interest, we're not going away, we're getting close. We could also use some more donations for the attorney. We just barely paid our attorney fee last month, and if we use them again, we'll have to dip into some other place or get more contribution. The 2 ordinances, just for those that were not at the last meeting, there's going to be one ordinance that says 0 to 35 is a building permit, 35 to 65 is something else, and above 65 is almost impossible variance. 35 to 65 being, they take it to city council and so on. We want the 0 to 35 as building permit. They want to have notification, okay, that's fine, we're fine with that, as long as they keep it advisory, which is the direction they're going. They want to do 500 feet, that's a couple hundred people, okay, if they want to do that, that's fine. But as long as it's advisory, and they can't have one person say, you're not putting that up, and they say, we deny your permit. They're not going that direction, we want to keep them not going that direction. So We want to have a lively discussion of anything that we don't like. We'll know about that 10 days ahead, and Charlie will send it out on the mailing list that he has. But please put it on your calendar, August 5th, Tuesday, 6:30, 6:15 for hot dogs, 7 o'clock for the council meeting. Send your contributions. Thank you.
All right. There are 6 new to the club individuals, family, signed up at field day.
Nice.
I don't know if they are here tonight. KI6 AUP, KK6 LBM, right here. KG6 ZUW. Okay. Hey, 2 for 2. I like that. KK6 MTF. Okay. KZ6 RAM. No? Okay. And a KK6 CTF. Not here. These individuals were inspired enough to come out and see what field day was about. I don't know if they got caught by the traffic jam that was out front. That was all of about maybe half a mile. Reports were freeway was at 60, except for this one certain spot on 78, which just had unable to accomplish anything. So something happened. So if you 2 individuals would like, sorry, I'm not sure what your name is yet, or yours, but if you like, there's 6 antennas on the table right here. You can take one, and you can take one.
Nice.
And they are yours. These are from Diamond Antenna. They are in San Marcos. They're part of Merrick's group out there.
They donated them, right?
They are donated to the club with the express purpose of for people who signed up at field day.
Nice.
So if you'd like to come up and get one of these, choose which one would work for you. There's a couple of handy-talkie antennas, there's a base antenna, there's a mobile antenna. So I'll let you guys fight it out.
What's the base antenna?
Why don't you say their, why don't you guys say their names and where they live, Dennis, so
Just a
when
moment.
they got like.
Mobile antenna, that's the handle antenna. You see this, eh? 2 meter 440. This one's just 2 meter. Okay, so this here is first line name, where you're from.
KK6 LBN, I'm in Poway, and I've been in here since April.
April. All right.
Don't hold it up too high.
You're Poway, you might want to put it down like this. 5/8 stacked ground plate. And this here is name, call sign, where you're from?
My name is Rick Durant, KI6 AUP. I currently reside in Del Mar, which was before that in LA, near Pasadena, a small town called San Marino, where I grew up. Been a ham since 2005, only technician. Right now I'm studying for the general. And hopefully at the end of the month.
Okay. Very good. Diamond NR770HA. And like I said, it's 2 meter 440. It can be used whatever configuration you like there. So good luck with them. Thank you. And welcome to the club. Thank you. Yeah, feel free to refer to this field day comments. Make them short.
On that note, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and participating in Field Day. I think we had a lot of fun. Set up the 4 outfit setup. Made quite a bit of contacts, and overall, we had pretty good fun. The Boy Scouts came out. We did a radio merit badge class. And do we know, thanks to this gentleman here, do we know how that went, how many passed, etc.?
Yeah, thank you very much, Greg, Mike, Big John, Roger Hort, and everybody else who helped, Don. We had 17 scouts. Oh, thanks, that's my... All right, thank you. We had 17 scouts that attended. All of them did well. Their parents were interested. I had a couple of scouts and their parents come up to me afterwards. They are interested in a technician class. And while I have the floor, please save this date. October 17th through 19th is the Boy Scout Jamboree over the air. That's the Boy Scouts version of Field Day. It's a national event. PARC supported Jamboree over the air last year. And that was the biggest event for the San Diego Boy Scout Council. Basically, you guys, led the way. We're going to do it again this year. It's going to be bigger and better. I just got contacted by one of the city council people in the city of San Diego representing the Black Mountain District, which is basically all the city of San Diego north of 56 in the Palma Valley. So anyway, save the date, October 17th through 19th. Thanks again for everybody who was at Field Day. The Scouts had a great time. Field Day is the best place to introduce young people and Boy Scouts to radio. It's just awesome. So thanks again.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone who came out. Thank you, band captains. I should have a preliminary score by the next club meeting.
Mike?
Along that line, I always try to have my station open. I was band captain for 2080, and we had the chicken coop again, which is really good for people can see what they're doing without having to feel like they're intruding and coming in. I had 14 people, tax or non-hams, that got on the air. Like I said, they're looking at it over my shoulder. I said, "Come here, sit down. I'll tap you on the shoulder. Say this." And 14 people. I think that it's the best. As Kevin said, the best time of year to fire people up.
You're here.
Good.
It's how you guys suckered me into working for this group.
Yes, Ron?
One comment they make about Field Day, my hat is off to Greg and all his hard work and organization of Field Day. If it wasn't for him leading it and all the hard work and everybody else, never would have happened. So, we're all
For those of you that like comedy, we'll tell you about the pre-trip in next month's school. If it's not in this one. This one's a little bit late because we're trying to get Field Day stuff in. So we'll give you the pre-trip comedy and you'll enjoy that too. All right, going from there. Hey, John. What do we got left on the so-called goodie table and wall?
We got, as far as I know, we have all this stuff. This is all donations to the club. So the price is very negotiable. The only requirement is that you just be reasonable and pay the lady in the back. And there's some other equipment here with prices attached. AK6R. And you might be open to negotiation if you want to buy one or two items, But the antennas here. These are also donations to the club. As an example, I think this one's 40, and these are quite nice antennas compared to your normal big Webster band spanners and other great huge things that are 10 feet long and come off the bumper of the car. A lot more practical antennas for little Priuses or something like that. But the idea is we want to get rid of them. We do not want to have to take them home or save them for next club meeting. So even if you think you might have a good use for it, grab it, run, okay?
I see a 2-meter doggy over there. After the presentation, keep in mind it can be used for GF hunting.
Yes.
There's about a 7 or 8 elements. I didn't count the elements, but most of that stuff, all you need is a little bit of sandpaper and some nuts and bolts, and you're on the air basically with it. But the stuff that's on the table here, all of this stuff here is useful maybe to you. The cathode ray tube rejuvenator. Everybody's got their own cathode ray tube color television set still at home, right?
Yeah, Howard.
One last item. I forgot, there's some loose stuff back there. I call it Field Day Lost and Found. I found the extension cord which we passed on, but there's a coffee cup.
I got it. It's empty. It's empty, John.
Okay, oh, that was yours, okay.
Okay. Go ahead.
As some of you probably know, I'm a bit of a ham fest junkie. I go to Dayton every year and Visalia every year and Friedrichshafen every year, and I usually take large groups. Last few years I've been doing Dayton. I usually get 10, 12 people. We fly up there, we rent a bus, and we just generally have a good time. I've done Friedrichshafen the last 3 years, and I've gotten a lot of requests to do the Expedition Ham Fest to Friedrichshafen in Germany, so I'm going to organize one for 2015. This happens to be the same weekend as Field Day, which is great because you can work from Germany. I did that with my iPad this year, which was great. We're going to do Friedrichshafen, Germany, then Liechtenstein for the expedition because Ben, who's a member of this club, N6SZO and Joe Loughlin, has the place in Liechtenstein. And we also got an invite to Pils in Czech Republic to finish the trip off. Pils is where Pilsner beer comes from. And we'll be working out of a beer factory, which is great. So it should be at that. And at this point, it's like about 10 days. If you're interested, KY6LA and KY6LA down work have 3 guys set it up, so there's going to be a bunch of us. If we get enough of us, if we get more than 10, we get a bus and just generally have a very good time going from beer fest to beer fest. So I don't have a cost yet, but it will be something affordable for guys who would like to make a trip without their wives. Don't take your wives along, it's very expensive.
Excuse me.
You're a ham.
All right, we have any guests tonight? First time people. I see some back there. Ron, Stan, do you recognize? Let us know your name, if you got a call sign, where you're from.
Me?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm Patrick, KK6MZO.
Welcome. Are you tech, general, extra?
General.
General. Okay. Yes, sir.
My name is Bill Alkerton, W6ZN, Whiskey 6 Zulu. Live in Chula Vista. I'm here to be a critic for those 2 guys over there.
Well, we have to improve the presentation, every so often.
I'm going to have a Tina, and had my license since 1962.
All right. Anyone else a guest tonight?
My wife Robin, she's WD6EJ, sorry, KC6LEA. The license expired, she hasn't renewed it. We'll pass the time limit.
Pass the 2-year time limit?
She gets to take the test again.
There are tests every Saturday somewhere in this county of San Diego, and they are very happy to help you along.
The new rules go into effect too, so you only have to tech.
Okay.
And the rest of them count.
Hearing that, we're going to say that you know who runs the club this month because we're getting a little behind. So here we have Joe and Joe, because that's all I really know. Joe N6SZO and Joe KE6PHB.
Thank you, David.
They're all dead. They have the battery short.
Okay, well, I guess what we'll try and do is stand here. I can hear you. As long as we don't block anybody, I think we'll be okay. So we'll try and speak up. I checked the record. We were here April 2012 to give a similar talk. So since then, we've done 3 on-foot tea hunts in San Diego. So you're going to see a different version than if you were here in April 2012. So first time we've done this one. It may be a little rough, but you'll kind of get the idea. Some of the slides are the same, and some are different. Let's see, where's our control here? Yeah. How about the lights? We don't turn the lights down a little. Can you see in the back? Or?
Lights.
Can you hear in the back?
Yep. Better.
Good. Okay, what is transmitter hunting? We're blocking anybody's view. That's good right there. Can you see okay?
Yep.
Okay, transmitter hunting or fox hunting. Determine the location of a radio transmission source. A lot of people sit home and they turn their rotor and they get an idea where the signal's coming from, and that's it. They know it's out that way someplace. When we do this, we try actually make an initial estimate of the direction of the signal like you would do at home, but we actually try and go out and using the vehicle, try and figure out how to get there.
As you go along, you're continually changing your estimates of where it is because your directions are going to change, your bearing's going to change. You're faced with VHF reflection. This is, by the way, this is 2 meter FM. We're going to talk about 80 meters a little bit later on. You're worried about vehicle road access because this is a mobile hunt, which we're starting with. And time constraints, we have a couple hours for our normal Saturday night hunts. We'll get into that in a minute. And interference, which you may be able to read that, which is advice from other hunters. We're going to tell you it's over there, and of course, they're going to go the other direction, so they're interfering with you. Many times we have overlapping transmitters. We have more than one going. Some cases we've had up to about 30 or so in one event, which we don't do very often, but that can be very, very confusing. And then, of course, at the end, successfully finding all the transmitters that are out there. Okay, the types of hunts. The Saturday night special, which is a mobile hunt, starting with the mobile, sometimes ending in a conflict, where you get to an area and you can't see the transmitter, so you have to get one of these beams like we have up here on display, get out of the car and wander around on foot to try and locate it. There's the countywide transmitter hunts, and then we're going to concentrate tonight on the on-foot, the local version, our version, and also talk a little bit about the international style hunts. I've got a couple of these books up here on the table if you want to take a look at them afterwards, kind of our Bible for transmitter hunting. I loaned one out the last time. The guy hasn't brought it back. I had to track it down.
You find a transmitter in there?
What?
You turn RFID pad on
The ultimate hunt vehicle's got everything you could ever think about. When we first did this talk, we tried to make the point that you don't have to have complicated equipment. So you don't really need a vehicle like this if you're going to do mobile hunting. Something like a regular pickup truck, sport utility vehicle, or in this case, a little sedan, all work just fine. Okay, mobile radio equipment, this is kind of the minimum that you would need for a mobile thing. Actually, it's not, but when we made this slide, this is kind of like the basic stuff for someone that had a hole in the roof. If you don't have a hole in your roof, I'll show you how to do that in a few minutes.
Call a hole saw.
Yeah. First thing you need is a radio. I've got a remote head here. You put up on the dash, we'll see that in a minute. An attenuator, something to connect everything up, your power cables, and your cables to the antenna. And the famous bag of connectors. You get out there someplace and something's broken, you need to Mickey Mouse something together. I know none of you ever done this, right? Never had something fail and try and fix it. Well, this bag of connectors has saved us many times. Aids to hunting, a map, which is what some of us use. We've never had the batteries run down yet. A compass, if you're going to determine the bearing, and something to plot the bearings up on your map. So a quick, minimal, basic mount would be the T-Hunt radio right here. And this is a third harmonic radio, attenuator, and then your mast coming down with a pointer that tells you which way your antenna is pointing, basically, so you want to make sure you get on straight. I actually went backwards one time because I had the pointer on backwards. We don't want to talk about that. And also the Thomas Brothers here, which some of us still use. Okay, additional equipment for mobile hunting would be laptop. You'll see some of those in a minute. Running navigation programs, special signal strength meters that's tied into your radio, maybe a Doppler system, auxiliary radio for the third harmonic frequency, which is very, very handy when you get in close. You're going to start picking up the third harmonic series, and a compass, and maybe a preamplifier. Okay, this one is a little more complicated than the basic thing. Here you see a laptop mounted in there. They still have a third harmonic radio. They have a special signal strength meter up on top here on the dash. Because sometimes it's hard to see the display in your radio. The display's not very big. And then the mask and the attenuator. Okay. This one is a little different configuration. Still has a laptop, a couple of radios here, a display up there. It kind of depends on your individual preference on how you want to set things up.
And your phone is for wood.
Yeah, wood. So that's another example. Joe's going to talk about this one, I think.
Yeah, this gets to the kind of extreme setup that not the hunters can say to you. Some of the hunters we've run into in the LA area, they do similar hunts. They'll put together a system where they have, besides remote S meters, they'll have navigation stuff sitting on the dashboard. They'll have a computer screen that's remoted from a desktop computer on your back seat because they feel more comfortable with that. They have what they call a num meter. When you get real close to transmitter, sometimes your radio gets overloaded with signal. When you put all the attenuation you have in your attenuator in, that you still don't get a reasonable bearing. So you put a meter